I firmly believe that people who have gone before us, that it is important to keep their memory alive. And whether that be collecting stuffed animals in someone's name, telling stories about that person, mentioning them every chance you get.
Donations of stuffed teddy bears are helping keep the memory of a Siouxland man alive, a man many called Bear. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Matt Breen.
And I'm Stella Daskalakis. For 5 years now, the Ruehle family has held a teddy bear drive in memory of Mike Ruehle, who passed from cancer in 2014. The teddy bears are given to adults and children with a cancer connection in Mike's memory. Family and friends knew Mike as Bear. The family asks people to consider donating a teddy bear in memory of a loved one or in honor of the healthy family members. If you'd like to donate, every bear must be new with the tag still attached. The donations will stay in Siouxland, and there are 5 different locations where you can drop off the bears. We have those for you inside this story at KTIV.com. Ruehle's family says the Teddy Bear Drive has donated more than 3,000 stuffed animals to several Siouxland agencies. But who is the man who inspired the Teddy Bear Drive? KTIV's Leslie London spoke with the Ruehle family to learn a little bit more about Mike.
Very thoughtful person, very giving, always took the time to listen to other people. Just really, just very compassionate, kind-hearted person.
Mike Ruehle, or as his family called him, Bear, passed away 6 years ago after a 12-year battle with cancer. The family says he was very active in the community and was often coaching numerous sports teams. They say he had a big heart and always did what he could to make others feel better, even while he himself had cancer.
If there were any patients his doctor had that were having a very difficult time with the news or a difficult time with the adjustment, he would reach out to my dad and see if my dad would sit down with them and talk with them a little bit about what was going on.
Part of the reason the Teddy Bear Drive was started was because of Bear's compassion towards children who were also dealing with cancer.
He would see a young child going through similar things to what he was going through. He would always go out of his way to talk to that little kid and attempt to brighten his day a little bit.
Mike had had 3 different kinds of cancers, and due to the chemotherapy, eventually was diagnosed with MDS, which is a bone marrow failure disorder. Doctors determined that the best treatment would be a stem cell transplant. The transplant surgery went well, but months later his body began rejecting his brother's stem cells, and within 5 weeks he had passed away.
That was a shock because he'd been ahead of schedule on everything else and had come through things beautifully. So it was quite a shock, but that's God's plan, I guess.
But Mike's family wanted a way to keep Mike's memory alive, and that's what also helped start the Teddy Bear Drive.
My oldest granddaughter is 5. She never met her grandpa, but I think in some ways she feels as though she did because of talking about him, and she helps me with the Bear Drive.
In Sioux City, Leslie London, KTIV News 4.
The teddy bear collection will continue until the end of February. Again, there are 5 different locations where you can drop off the bears.